Hello and welcome to the Avrum Rosensweig Show.
Welcome to one of the internet's best podcasts, where we dive deep into the lives of the extraordinary and fascinating people who leave an indelible mark on our world. Join us as we explore their captivating stories, remarkable achievements, and unique perspectives that shape history and inspire generations. Get ready to embark on a journey through the lives of inspiring people unlike any other.
Hello, folks, and welcome to the show. My name is indeed Avrum Rosensweig, and I'm delighted to be here with you. Usually at the top of my show, I talk a little bit about what I think it is that we can take out of the interview that I'm about to do. And I think it's really important that we sort of set goals for ourselves and make this something really special. In the case of this upcoming interview with Kelly O'Hearn, how are you, Kelly?
I'm good, Avrum. Nice to see you.
Yeah, it's really nice to see you too. I think you're going to be fascinated by the content of our discussion, which has to do with mysticism, mystical stuff, tarot cards, lives before this one, and a little bit about perfume and something about roses, which are both very, very beautiful. And I think that's what's very cool about life is, this podcast is all about finding the beauty of humankind, finding the beauty of this world that we share. What I'm really, really fascinated by with Kelly's books, and I believe we'll deduce from our upcoming interview, is the idea that sometimes you have to really dig deeply in a spiritual way, to find things that will not be in your face on the surface of life, the mundane. And I come from a religious background myself. My father was a rabbi, God bless his soul. Hence, my mother was what's called a Rebbitzin. And my life has always been ensconced in Judaism and some form of spirituality.
Mhm.
I believe it's made my life better. I think it has. But that's really your own personal choice. But listen closely. This is going to be really exciting. It's going to be a great ride. Hold on tight. And we'll see what we can learn from it and grow through. So, once again, Kelly, how are you?
I'm great. Thank you so much. I'm excited. This will be a great conversation.
Yeah, no, I'm really excited too. And firstly, I have to wish you Mazel Tov. Do you know what Mazel Tov is?
Yes, and thank you.
Yeah, it's like a congratulations,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, no, I appreciate that.
Yeah, for sure. For writing two novels, one is hard enough. But when you write your second one, my gosh, and you call this whole thing a series, which
Yes.
means there's going to be a third one, right?
Yeah, it's underway right now.
That's crazy.
It's crazy. I completely agree.
I started up a writers club. I've mentioned this on the podcast before, and it's a bunch of people who are actually quite accomplished. They're accomplished novelists.
Mhm.
And every 2 weeks, we talk about what they go through and the cumbersome nature of being a novelist, but even more so, getting an agent and then being published. That's the crazy part, right?
Right. Yeah, it is. But I'm a self-published author, so that does help me circumvent some of the frustrations in the traditional path to publishing. But it does not help me circumvent the frustrations in the writing of the novel.
Yes, I understand that, and we'll talk more about that. So let me give you a formal introduction. Have we lived before? Do we have soul contracts? Ooh, what's that? Can tarot cards be used as a narrative tool that reveals deeper truths, perhaps even a roadmap to healing? For Kelly O'Hearn, the answer is a resounding oh yes. She's the intuitive storyteller behind the acclaimed Arcanum series. Is that how you say it? Arcanum?
Yes.
Arcanum. The sweeping, time-bending novels channeled through tarot. O'Hearn explores love, power, freedom, spirituality, and self-discovery through the lens of past lives, inspired by your own past life readings and personal transformation. She's known for elevating people's frequency and vibration through her tarot readings. Kelly helps others unlock their potential and align their present life with their desired one through reinvention, energy work, and storytelling. Kelly was born in New York City. Uh, First, put her sensory gifts to work as a professional wine taster and sommelier. After raising two children and overcoming a personal health crisis, she discovered the tarot and became, as far as she knows, the first author to channel an entire novel series actually through it. Some of the readers have said, quote, an absolute treat for the senses. An Outlander meets Game of Thrones with a metaphysical twist. The Arcanum series continues to captivate with its unique blend of romance, spirituality, and time bending adventure. So you're a romantic and you're a mystic. Would that be accurate?
Yes, I would say more of a mystic than romantic.
Why do you say that?
It's the New Yorker in me.
Well, are New Yorkers not romantics?
Well, they are. I mean, I love romance. Don't get me wrong. And Arcanum definitely has romantic elements. But for me, the reason I say more mystic than romantic is because I'm more excited about what makes people tick. Who are you? Why are you the way you are? Like, show me yourself, reveal yourself to me, talk to me. That's where I get the juiciness for myself. That's my sweet peach.
Nicely said. Very Georgian of you. I'm extraordinarily curious, almost obsessively. And when I'm with people, that's why I do this podcast. I love meeting new people and finding out about them. Or does your understanding or unearthing of who a person is, does that specifically come through tarot cards, or would you be one-on-one at a cafe having a very, very intense conversation?
100%.
Yeah.
I mean, it's happened my whole life. I was always the friend in grade school that people would talk to. It doesn't matter where I am. If I am at the cafe and I sit down at a communal table and I happen to start chatting to the person next to me, we're in a conversation, a really, really enjoyable, it doesn't have to be super deep all the time. But we're getting into topics that, neither one of us could have anticipated happening in that moment.
Will you go too far? I will.
With people in my personal life, yes.
Let's say.
But not with my clients. No.
Not with your clients. And
No.
you have kids. You have a couple of kids, right?
I have 2 adult children. Yeah, 2 sons.
So will they say to you, Mom or Mommy, I'm so grateful that you really want to know your children, who I am? Or will they say, stop it already, Mommy?
Oh, well, I'll do you one better than that. They look at me and go, Mom, do not go all tarot on me right now.
Right.
I'm their mother, I'm mama. So that relationship was set into a cadence well before any of this arose in my life. So I never presume to, impose that on them. This is my journey. And if they need me to just be mama, then I'll be mama.
And will you have you read their cards?
No, never. I would never intrude that way. No.
Because it's an intrusion.
Yeah, it really can be. First of all, they're my children and they are entitled to the dignity of their journey. I will do whatever I can to, prevent any great harm or things like that. But, and I'm not saying tarot predicts the future. That's not the case. I don't believe in the prediction of the future. I think that's impossible. But tarot can give a lot of awareness and clarity around where someone's vibration is. And that's what has the greatest effect on the results that we enjoy or struggle with in our lives. But if I only read people's cards that give me permission to read their cards, and then I can channel, if someone's struggling with a relationship with their child and my client, I can channel their child through them in order to help my client handle it better. But never in order to intrude on the private life of the person that doesn't know I'm channeling them.
Right. And has anyone ever told you stop?
No.
Never. Does that surprise you at all?
Yes.
Because why?
Well, you can imagine we get into, when you work with how I work, it's kind of like therapy in a way, but rather than working through the filter of the mind,
Yes.
as is the science behind that modality, which is fantastic. I work through the filter of your energetic body. So you can get into some really real truths and difficult, uncomfortable moments of awareness, which is a very empowering thing, but it can be really uncomfortable. And thankfully, I established early a very strong position of safety and trust. and so people trust me to take me where they are meant to go. So they sit through that discomfort with me, which is such an honor. But it's there is a ripcord. If someone said to me, I can't do this, like I've had enough, this is enough for one day, 100% understand.
So sometimes the readings will go on for much longer.
Well, I mean, I tend to keep my sessions just to an hour because it's a lot to unpack and there's a lot of vibrational shifts. But people who are in a chronic crisis, they will work with me, maybe twice a week or definitely once a week, until they feel a little better about it all. So that can be a difficult time.
What
I
is
mean,
it?
believe me, Avrum, no one comes to me when life is going swimmingly,
Yeah, I honestly, yes.
right?
It's when we have blues, right?
Yeah, yeah. So I'm often in a situation of great trust, great responsibility. But because I work with energy rather than a person's memories, it's a very quick healing time, or it's a very quick from beginning to end. My job is to put myself out of a job. It's my greatest compliment when people stop contacting
That
me.
I don't know you anymore.
Yeah, yeah.
What does it do to you after the hour?
Well, to be honest, when I first started doing this back in 2018 is when I started my company. I would, as is my nature, I would throw everything of myself into it, including my own energy and my own emotional body. So I was really, really exhausted, and I was carrying around energy frequencies that weren't even mine. Like I would take their frequency for them, but I wouldn't give it back, so to speak. So I've learned how to keep myself separate, and to allow myself to channel their energy without commingling mine, if that makes
How
sense.
did you learn how to keep yourself separate?
It's just it's like a discipline with anything else. It's a visualization for me. I can feel it when I'm getting too emotionally involved or emotionally impacted. I know I have to be mindful of how far to take that for myself, because our emotions are one of our greatest cues into understanding where our frequency is, where our energy is. It's like the heart space, our emotional body is the connector between the mind and the soul. So my emotions greatly help me in that regard.
So you are a cartomancer, is that correct?
Yes, that would be right. I
Cartom.
don't call myself that, but I love that you use that word. Yeah.
Someone uses the art of cartomancy, the art of divination, using cards, right?
Mhm. Yes.
Yeah, it's a great word.
It's a fabulous word.
I just want to walk through a little bit of the history of tarot card reading as a practice. It evolved significantly from its origin in the 15th century Italy. It was actually started out as a card game,
Mhm.
to use its divination. The divination part of it started in the 18th century. Um, it's very interesting. Some of the people have been involved. Antoine Court de Gebelin, 1724 to 1780, 1725 to 1784. Marie Anne Lenormand, 1772 to 1843. And more recently, Rachel Pollack, 1945 to 2023, a modern tarot scholar and reader. Pollack was a groundbreaking figure known for her books such as 78 Degrees of Wisdom. Did you know of her or know her?
No, I never met her.
Okay,
No,
have you studied up on other tarot card readers?
no. I
How come?
completely developed my own style.
And there is a known style. There is a personal style within this.
Yes.
What
Yeah.
what would
I
you say your style?
honestly have never researched the tarot except to learn the language. I didn't research when it first came into my life in 2014. I didn't research its history. I didn't want. That's not why it entered my life. That's not at the time the relationship I had with it. It was really a distraction for me from my reality, which was in a lot of chaos and pain. To sync myself, I'm like you. I'm a curious person. I love to learn and I
Yes.
love to read. And tarot comes with it's a language. So just like learning French, or Yiddish or anything,
Yes.
you can study it. And so there are books and all these things. So I used it just to study the language, and then I developed my own relationship with tarot, not
Yeah.
based on anybody else's.
So can you walk us through for a moment? You said your life was chaos.
Yes,
right? And therefore you move towards the tarot cards.
correct.
Walk us through that in a little bit more depth. What was going on in your life?
Well, I think it's proverbially known now, a phrase that is often used is the dark night of the soul. We all go through it probably several times in our life, but this particular conjunction of events, I was coming out of a major health crisis where in 2012, all of a sudden my life was turned on its head because I lost my capacity to function in life the way I'd always had. I was having massive brain fog, turned out to be an autoimmune issue, advanced Lyme's disease, things that I wasn't aware of until it all came to the surface. So as I healed my body, I did that as well as started to see my life differently through new eyes, if you will. And so my marriage started ending, and then my father was dying. So it was all of these foundational strengths that we rely on: our health, our parents, our marriage, our primary partner, that were all at risk. So I found the tarot at a time when that was really at its culmination of fear for me. And it was just a solace. And I told nobody knew I was studying tarot. My background, my parents were both financiers, grew up in New York City, a really lovely, very blessed, privileged lifestyle. And so you don't do tarot in my world.
Yeah.
I had fear of judgment. I'll be honest with you. At the time, I was really afraid of ridicule and that people would have thought, like, what on earth? But I'll tell you something, as I healed and navigated that entire experience, and tarot was a major part of that healing.
Thank God for that, right?
Yeah, indeed.
So I guess I was thinking about this interview, and I really tried to drill down on the fundamental question that I was curious about. And it is as follows. Um, Tarot cards, they're a set of cards. I think there's 77 in the deck. Is that correct?
78.
78, sorry. And they're divided into two different groups. And there's pictures on them. And these
Yes.
pictures are not consistent. That
No.
picture you might have found in the 1700s, painted by a great artist, would not necessarily be what you would find in the set of tarot cards today in New York City. I went on Amazon, and indeed, you can buy a set of tarot cards on Amazon, right?
Many.
Right, many, yes. So my question to you is, Kelly O'Hearn, is so you have this physical set of cards and you shuffle them. I saw you shuffling on one of your interviews. I think one card fell away and you didn't pick it up, and I thought that was significant. And then you put them down in a particular way. And out of this, as you said a few minutes ago, you can read someone's energy.
Mm.
So the question is, of the skeptics, and you said you appreciate skeptics,
Love them.
is how can we possibly understand someone's energy based on these cardboard, cards that are put down in almost like a random way? What is the connection between these cards and divinity?
So, as I just said, tarot is a language, but rather than being a language of communication, it's a language of insight into the human experience. So the tarot is very much based on spiritual meanings. And in the suit, we have, in the deck, we have 4 suits, like in a playing card deck. But the 4 suits in the tarot align with the 4 parts of a human: physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual, or spiritual or energetic.
Yeah.
And then there are 21, 22 major arcana, which are just very high spiritual themes. But it's the language of the soul and the soul's influence on the human journey, on this incarnation. So I specifically use the deck in that way. I shuffle them and the cards fly out for no apparent reason. I don't change it. I'm not like secretly flicking it, nothing. And I honestly believe the energy of that person, or what is meant for them to know, pulls that card out. Because I will tell you, I do this all day, 6 days a week, with people all over the world. Mm. And there's never been one person that, in my experience, has looked at me and says, that doesn't resonate with me. Because each card is is a part of a sentence. It's part of a narrative. So just like the word blue, I love the color blue, I'm feeling blue. Each card has a meaning, a definition, but those meanings can change depending upon what other cards are around them. That's why the placement of the cards is very, very important. And I always place them based on the order with which they fly out of the deck. And I always place them left to right, which is, obviously how I learned to read language. So that's my methodology. And I have yet to work with one person that says to me, nope, not my story.
Kelly, what is energy?
Oh God, that's a good question.
Cringing.
Oh no, I'm not cringing. I'm like, I've got a wave of energy through my body. That's like truth chills. And maybe we can riff on this a little bit with me, because I know you know what it is. I know you live from that place. You have a very strong energetic vibration. So what is energy? Okay, it's the truth of who we are. It's the infinite spark of our existence. It's our eternal soul. Whatever language you like to use, please use that. I'm comfortable with all of it, but it's our truest true. And that part of us just wants to be a part of the dance of humanity. We rely so much on our physical and mental in this life, and life is designed to make that so. And that's wonderful.
Yes.
There are many people that are too afraid to use their emotional body in the way it was really designed, because, and I get that. The emotional body can be a scary place to allow into life. But our energy is right there, wanting to be just one of the tools in our toolbox. Not to take over or anything, but just to participate. And it's the source of all of the results. You have to remember, and this has been proven now in this time of human history through our physics and quantum physics, we live in an energetic existence. And, the 7 hermetic principles, one of them being the law of attraction, which I feel in this day and age is probably the most popular one or the most well-known. But there's the law of correspondence, the law of gender, like all of these things. That's all vibration. It's all frequency. The wave to the particle, which is the body. The body is like a solar event in particle form. And that's what it is. So when you work with your energy, all of a sudden you are working with the fabric of life itself as a co-creative process to trying to make you feel better in life. Mm-hmm. That's all I want. I just want my clients to feel better, and energy can play a big role in that. I hope I've explained this okay.
Yeah. It's just not something that I've never looked at before. This is Greek to me. It's brand new. So I just want to go a little bit further with it, if you're okay.
Yes.
So your explanations are excellent. It's just I'm a real neophyte to this, and mm-hmm. Again, I was brought up in a very rational world. Not all Judaism or not all Jewish people are highly rational. Some of them are Hasidic, where they're full of joy and emotion. Mm-hmm. Dancing and singing, and even having a little bit of vodka is their way of getting to God. I was brought up in a rational environment, Maimonides, A plus B equals C. So that's how I think. So what I'm trying to figure out from my rational mind is, again, the cards are on the table. Mm-hmm. And if I'm correct, there's an energy coming from your client. Mm-hmm. And the cards will tell the story of that energy. Am I correct so far?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Okay. In a divine way, because you use that word quite often, or I found that word frequently, how do the cards reflect that energy? How does that physical thing reflect the energy?
Through the language and the definition of each card. So, for instance, if in the tarot deck there's the suit of swords, and the suit of swords is the suit of the mental body.
Yes.
And if I have all swords on the table for one of my clients, I know they are in a very, very intense mental chapter of their life. Doesn't mean it's bad, but they are the demands of their life, the reality that they're living at the moment is putting a lot of pressure on their mental body, probably draining them, with a lot of stress, with a lot of worry, probably some anxiety, probably sleepless nights. Because when our mind is the main actor and or director of our life, that can be a really exhausting reality. And a lot of people can relate to this right now in this day and age. A lot of people are very much in their head about a lot of things. So it's again, it's a divination tool. It allows you to get some insight into where my client is, into where the person I'm working with is. I can't read anybody's mind. That's a very important distinction.
Okay.
I cannot read your mind. I do not have that capacity. I've heard some people do, but that is not my gift. So your thoughts, your memories, all of that is safe for me.
Yeah.
But I prefer that because it's so much more powerful to tell someone how they feel rather than what they think or what they remember.
Is my energy influencing what cards then go down on the table?
100%.
It is.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you compare that to another religious process or approach? Can you do that?
Yeah, I mean, anytime you have a really honest, heartfelt discussion
Yes.
with any religious authority, a rabbi like your father, a priest, a minister, a lama, I don't care what discipline it is, and you are really honest about your communication, that's what this is. The thing about tarot, which is a really nice opportunity for some people, is it will never blow smoke up your skirt. It gets right to the heart of the matter of what your truth is in this moment or in relationship to the topic that you're asking about. So even though we think one thing, because we're denying the truth of what is actually going on, and that's where suffering lies, is in the divisiveness of that. So I will say in those moments where I have had such communion with a religious leader, a trusted person of a spiritual nature, and then they can talk to me and I can receive from that person the truth, the honesty, the gentility, the compassion, all of these things, no judgment. And that's the thing about tarot. Tarot has no judgment.
Yes.
It's a conversation. But I mean, I've had these conversations I was raised Catholic, so with certain priests over the course of my life, but then also just with really highly evolved religious and spiritual people that have changed me for the better. So yeah, there's a similarity there. It's not exactly the same, but it's similar.
Have you had discussions with rabbis, priests, ministers, imams about tarot reading?
A few. A priest that I know and respect, when he found out I was after my mother's funeral and I had done the eulogy and we were chatting about with the words I had used afterwards. And he asked me, how did you come to speak with such vocabulary? So I told him what I did. And he was really curious. He didn't get judgmental. And I was nervous, I still had some old, programming of Catholic judgment in my, clearly in my cells. And he was open and curious and asked so many questions and was fascinated, because he, at the end of the day, was more about trying to find the connection for the benefit of both of us rather than, impart some sort of judgment, which would have been the separation of us.
What was your mom like?
I'll tell you something. Oh, thank you for asking that question. That's a really good intuitive catch.
Thank you.
She was amazing. I was blessed with two extraordinary people for parents. And my mother was incredibly smart, incredibly driven, held her three girls, I'm one of three girls, to a very high standard, which I appreciate now, especially as an adult. But she was sharp and she was intuitive for sure. And I'll be honest with you, when I finally started to tell people, because I studied the tarot for over 3 years and I told nobody,
Mhm.
no one knew. It was my secret between me and me. And the person I was most afraid to tell, as I started to share it with friends and things like that, I was most afraid to tell my mother
To tell your mom.
because of the judgment. I was so worried of her quick judgment, which she could do. But I'll be honest with you, it's one of my favorite stories. I took her out to lunch for her birthday, May 21st. And she's like, "So what's new, honey? Tell me something new." And I was like, "Mom, I'm a little nervous to tell you this, but I've started reading tarot cards and I'm really actually good at it."
Mm-hmm.
And her first words to me, "That's wonderful, honey. Tell me you're monetizing it." Because she was in finance. She was always about business.
How
And
you
that's
make
where I
money?
got the idea to start a business.
That's great. And you actually do make money from it, right?
Oh yeah. I make
Well,
it
what
nice.
about your dad? What was he like?
My father was a much stronger energetic frequency. My mother was very much more based in her intellect. My father was more based in his energy, for sure. I see that now. I didn't realize that as growing up. He was very smart, very shy, very introverted. He only spoke when he had something to say,
Yes.
really wise. He was definitely that safe ground, that safe place to land, always had our backs. Yeah, he left me with an incredible legacy to pass on to my kids of safety and security and consistency and determination and goals and ambition, like all of these things. Yeah, he was extraordinary.
So you yourself are grounded.
100%.
You'd have to be, wouldn't you?
Yeah, and it's a very important thing for me. The concept of home, just the stability, that foundational support is huge for me.
Do you three girls get along well? Are you both,
Yeah, I'm having dinner with them on Thursday.
are you tight, the three of you?
Yeah,
And is it nice?
it's so nice.
It is nice, right?
It's really nice for me. Yeah, I can only speak to my experience, but they enrich my life.
Would you read their cards?
Yeah, they've asked me to.
And you're okay with that?
Mhm.
So the line is drawn at your children.
Well, just because they haven't asked me to. If they ask me to, I would be happy to do that for them. If they're struggling with a choice, I don't know what to do here. Can we see what's better aligned for my energy? Should I move to Massachusetts or should I move to California? Which state has better alignment with energy for me? That kind of thing. But only if they ask me to. I will never read their cards without their permission.
Wonder if there's anybody you wouldn't read.
If they ask me to.
You would read anybody then.
I can't state that with 100% accuracy
Right.
and say that's true, because if someone gives me a bad feeling or if I just don't align or vibe with them, I probably would. And I have fired 2 clients in my life. So to that point, I would refer them to somebody else.
What did you say to them?
I said, you know what? Listen, I so appreciate you trusting me with this, but we're not a good fit. Just like you don't like every doctor you go to, you don't like every exercise class you go to, the instructor, we're just not a good fit. I can't help you the way you need to be helped, and you deserve someone that can. So I always leave someone with options of people who I respect that are also in my field.
Do you get frightened very much or scared?
No,
Did
not
you
at all.
ever at some stage of your
Oh
life?
my gosh. Oh my gosh. I was such a frightened child.
Yeah, me too.
I was scared of the dark. I was scared of bumps in the night. I was scared of my shadow. I was a very frightened child.
Yeah, me too. I was
Yeah. And now I don't really have much fear at all in my life in any capacity.
That's wonderful. There have been a number of books that I've written or have been written about tarot cards. One is The Night Circus by Aaron Morgenstern,
Mm.
The Raven Boys by Maggie Stiefvater, The Tarot Sequence by Katie Edward, The Castle of Cross Destinies by Italo Calvino, and The Hangman by Francesca Leah Block. Before we get into your book, can you do a reading for me?
Yeah. Of the book or of the tarot?
Can you do one of me through
Of
online?
tarot?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's do
Yeah, let's. You ready?
that. I am, yes.
Okay, my friend. So this is how an experience would go if you were working with me as a client. Let me just move you forward. So this is my table.
Yes.
You'll see tarot cards as well as these cards over here, but I'm just going to work with the tarot for you. No, okay. So I have right now 5 tarot decks on the table, and tarot always has the exact same 78 cards in the deck.
Right.
But the reason there are so many available is different deck illustrators and deck creators will use their own unique inspiration for illustrations. Okay, so you ready?
I'm ready. Kelly, when you first started doing this, were you a really bad shuffler?
No, I've played cards my whole life.
Oh, okay.
Wow. Very nice. Okay, so Avrum, we have the Queen of Pentacles,
Yes.
the Ace of Rods, which is the Ace of Wands. We have the Devil, which is not satanic in nature. Do not worry about that. The 10 of Rods and the 10 of Cups. So I'm going to turn you back to me.
Hello, welcome.
Nice to see you.
You have a very nice place, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's really beautiful.
Thank you. Okay, so Pentacles, Queen of Pentacles. Pentacles in the tarot is the suit of the physical. So it's our bodies, it's our jobs, it's our home. It's this third dimensional reality that we live in. And the Queen of Pentacles is kind of that feminine energy of nurturance, guidance, muse energy, like your creativity and how you navigate life itself, be it your home, what you like to have around you, your sense of beauty, your what you value in life is very much driven by your feminine energy. That nurturance, that it's just very creative. You have a lot of creativity in you, even though you have a lot of strong masculine energy, just because of all your accomplishments and the things you get done. But the feminine energy, always remember that when you are navigating your physical world, be it relationships, the relationship between you and your own body, your home, anything, make sure you always check in with your feminine side to make sure that it's balanced. That's a really important thing for you in this lifetime. Now we have the Ace of Wands. Wands is our spirit. It's our energetic body. And aces are new gifts from the universe. Like you are about to go through an upswing, or you may be in the throes of it already, where you're confronting some fears, some things that have kept you stuck, some beliefs you may have, a narrative in your head, challenges with other people. It could be many things. And this is where, when I can't read your mind, I have to just use language to try and convey the energy without being able to say, oh, your aunt, Marjorie is, been a thorn in your side. Like I can't access memories. But what I love is with this Ace of Wands, Devil, 10 of Wands, and the 10 of Wands, again, is the easing of the burden, putting down a weight, something that's weighed you down, that has caused you fear, that has kept you stuck. It can be, like I said, a belief, a relationship, an addiction, a pattern, whatever. But there's this incredible opportunity. If you haven't already done it, it's here for you to really finally let that go. Just that final piece. And it's not big anymore. Like if you look at this, these 10 wands, I feel like you only have like 2 left to put down, is how this feels to me. There's not a lot left here. Because the final card, my dear, is the 10 of Cups. Cups is our emotional body. It's all of our experience of the different vibrations of love. So many vibrations of love, from kindness and consideration up to romantic love, up to what I believe the highest vibration, which is compassion. But this freedom, this joy, this sense of just expansion in your heart is what's waiting for you on the other side of this. Now, I like this because this is such the human story. We go through this all the time, over and over and over, shedding, growing, maturing, evolving. But for you, it's very present right now in your energy, and it's going to be really feel good, and I love that for you.
Oh, thank you.
There's your sample.
Thank you. I appreciate it very much.
Yeah.
So you're saying that I've already done a lot of work, so that sort of breaking free, there's not a long road to go.
Not at all.
Okay. So I look good then, right?
Yeah, you're sitting pretty.
I am sitting pretty. That's really
Yeah,
nice. Thank you.
you're welcome.
And you would work with someone on a weekly basis or thereabouts?
Yeah, if they're in crisis, yes. If they are in a situational crisis, then absolutely to help them navigate that situation until I can get them to a point where their energy and their stability is consistent, and then I wouldn't do a week. But with clients that aren't necessarily in a crisis, but they're just not happy or they're feeling a little lost, I will not work with those with most people once a week. It's too much. We shift too much energy around, and it has to settle kind of. So I would rather, I'll work with someone once a month, but if sometimes twice a month, but normally once a month is the most I allow.
Okay, so you just did a reading for me, which took about 3, 4, 5 minutes.
Mhm.
You spent an hour with a client. Does that
Mhm.
mean they're giving you feedback as you go?
Yes.
Oh, they talk to you.
Yeah, most of them do. Some of them don't. Some of them just want me to do layer after layer after layer of cards.
Mhm.
But most people come to me with a specific problem or grievance or query, and they really want to work through that. And let's be honest. What do most people want? They want love, they want success, they want abundance, they want safety. You know, they want health, vitality, wellness.
Yeah.
That's pretty much those are the buckets that I mostly work in. And I'll be honest, the more information someone shares, the better I can get to the heart of the energy around it.
And people generally will give you like copious amounts of information
Oh
about
yeah, some
stuff?
people just tell me everything.
Yeah.
And some people will just say, I need to look into my relationship. And then that's all they say. I
Okay.
don't know if they're married, if they're single, if they're gay, if they're straight. I mean, I don't know anything. And that's fine. I don't need to.
Let's talk about your books.
Yes.
Right. So you've written 2 books. Arcanum in the Temple Shadows is book 1.
Hmm.
A series of novels channeled through the tarot cards by noted and intuitive Kelly O'Hearn. It's the first of its kind. In this sexy past life romance, sometimes happily ever after takes more than one lifetime, meets Sarah Fuller. It's her 40th birthday and things are starting to get weird. Is it deja vu? A midlife crisis, nervous breakdown? Who is this dark, handsome stranger she feels like she's met before? Not on Fifth Avenue or through her luxury fragrance company, but like many lifetimes ago. You went through a lot of this. Is this about you?
Well, the entire series was channeled through the lens of my soul. So I wrote about a lot of what I know. Now, I clearly have never founded a fragrance company.
Yes.
But I am born and raised in New York. We did live on Fifth Avenue. So you write about what you know, right? Because you can be consistent in that, especially over the course of many books. So that makes it easier. But yeah, the entire series, Sarah Fuller is loosely based on my soul, but the past lives are very much based on supposedly where my soul has been.
Do you love roses?
No, I can't stand them.
You can't stand roses.
No. Well, the Gallica rose that I write about, I adore. But the American beauties that you buy at a florist in the cooler, I don't care for the smell.
You don't.
No.
Is your smell, is that one of your stronger scents?
Yeah, which is why I was so good at wine.
You as a sommelier?
Yeah, I was kind of, my nickname was the nose for a time because I could pretty much pinpoint in a blind tasting almost to the vintage what wine it was.
That's magnificent. I have a friend, Roz, whose strongest sense is indeed smell.
Hmm.
And when she would take a book, most people would flip it open and perhaps look in the beginning and look in the end. She would smell it.
She would smell it. Oh, we all know that smell of the paper and the ink.
Yeah.
That's why I love libraries, because of the smell of the books.
Are you a lover of books?
I love books.
So do you have a nice library?
No, I don't hold on to things.
You let go of things.
Yes.
Yeah. Why?
I'm not really sure, actually. I've never asked that question of myself. It's just not my nature.
So what do you surround yourself with?
Photographs, uh, just, art. I love beautiful art
Do you?
and sculpture, like Chihuly based glass sculptures and I love really nice textiles and fabrics, and but yeah, no, I guess I don't lead a cluttered life.
What's your favorite textile?
Oh, depends. For furniture and stuff in my life, I like, maybe a chenille
Yes.
or something that has a little bit more like texture to it. But against my skin, cashmere.
Ooh,
That's my own personal hashtag cashmere and cards.
cashmere is beautiful, isn't
I
it?
have a lot of cashmere and I have a lot of cards.
What do you have? Sweaters? Cashmere sweaters?
Sweaters and wraps and pants and, all of it.
And they're stunning, aren't they?
They're fabulous. I'm not going to lie.
Do you like linen?
I love linen.
So do I.
Oh, crisp linen. Oh my God, it feels so good.
Right.
It's high maintenance,
I was going to say.
but it's worth it.
And who are your favorite artists?
I was always drawn to the abstract expressionists like Matisse and that era after Impressionism came, where they took the Impressionists' beauty, but they added a little bit more contemporary edginess to it. So I love that era. I was really drawn to the art of ancient Egypt. I was an art history major in college, so ancient Egypt was I knew I'd lived a past life. Even in college, I just was so drawn to it, and I still am. And I did my thesis on Jackson Pollock. So I think I definitely lean more toward the latter half of the 20th century, while having an incredible appreciation for all of it.
What was your thesis topic?
Oh God, I don't even know if I remember anymore. I don't even remember. He spent a lot of his creative years out on the East End of Long Island, where my family, I had a home for 52 years in Southampton, and he was in East Hampton. And there's something about the light out on that part of the world in New York State that drew a lot of artists in the 20th century, de Kooning, all of these incredible people. And I know the light and how it influenced Pollock's work and how he used light, even though it just seems like a disarray of splatters. There was genius to it, and there was planning, but how he used light, I know that was involved, but I don't exactly remember the topic line.
Mm-hmm. Are you an artist yourself?
No.
So your creativity is through the cards.
Correct.
Right. And that requires a lot of creativity.
Yes.
How?
Well, it requires, creativity has so many different outlets. So, obviously you can use your creativity to literally create art, but you can also use your creativity to create moments, and intuition and creativity are really, really great intimate partners.
Mm-hmm.
It's one thing to have intuition, but try to control it with your mind, with your mental capacity. That's doable. It's totally doable. But our creativity is more free flowing. It's a little bit messier, to be honest. It's a messier side of ourselves, which I think is why a lot of people tend not to dip their toe into their creative nature. But messiness, creativity and intuition, they are good bedfellows.
Okay, good stuff. Sarah, in your novel, the second novel, as we mentioned before, things were breaking down for her. She, as you, drew upon past lives, right? So tell us about some of Sarah's past lives and some of your past lives.
So Sarah Fuller, in the 21st century storyline of Arcanum, is not aware of her past lives fully at the very beginning of the book. This is something that will evolve over the series. But the easiest way for me to describe is that when I channeled this story in 2020, and I discovered, and I did it with intention, I wanted to see where my soul had been, because I experienced a past life regression in 2017. And that woman told me that of late, I'm in a karmic cycle of always being a woman in the company of very powerful men, but never as the wife, always as the mistress or the muse. And while that didn't align with the life I'm living now, because I had a 20-year marriage, I I took that premise. Okay, what were these past lives where my soul was supposedly with these powerful men? So Sarah's soul, just like my soul, you will see in the Arcanum novels, these past lives where her soul is in these situations with these very influential, powerful, persuasive men that serve her fear of true love. This is all of Arcanum is the ultimate return to love, but love of the self, of that understanding of the nature of the love within us is what we're really seeking. So these past lives, book 1 was ancient Egypt, book 2 is Renaissance France. You start to see how these lifetimes helped her and gave her the ability to, and the excuse to avoid love. But there is a soulmate, right? So there is a love from another. To receive love can be the most terrifying act in the course of a human life.
And were you yourself scared of love?
You know what? To be perfectly honest, even though I had an amazing marriage until it needed to end, and I still have great love for my ex-husband, and I'm in a really loving partnership with my soulmate now, and I had love of my parents. It's not that I was scared of love, Avrum. I didn't know how to communicate love. I didn't know how to talk about it. I didn't know vulnerability. I didn't understand the gift and the strength of the transparency of giving someone my heart from a really honest place. But I wouldn't do that because I didn't want to hurt anybody's feelings. That whole people pleasing trap we can get into.
Yes, we can. Was Sarah like that?
Yeah. Sarah's terrified of letting anybody down.
And is she a people pleaser?
To a point, yes. But obviously, Sarah as a character has built a multinational, really successful global business, and you can't really be a people pleaser all the time and get to that status of success in business. But when it comes to her personal life and the choices that she wants to try and make for her joy and her highest good, she's always at the last of the list. She's the bottom of the totem pole.
I really like the symbolism that you use, and the natural items, the flowers that you use. And I did a little research into the rose, which I find fascinating that you don't like the smell of the rose. There are many different types of roses. One is the red rose, which is classic symbolism of love and passion. There's a white rose. You know what it represents?
Purity.
Yeah, purity and innocence. Excellent. Pink?
That's like joy and friendship.
Symbolizing gratitude and appreciation. Yeah.
Yeah, it's yellow. A lightness of being, yeah.
What about yellow?
Oh, that could be like confidence or potential. What is that?
So it's friendship and joy. I remember many years ago, Kelly, I was dating someone or about to date someone, and I bought them these beautiful yellow flowers, and someone said, no.
Oh yeah, that's just friendship. Yeah. No.
Friendship, right? No,
yeah.
you want to give beautiful red roses. Just a couple more. Purple lavender, rare. They're very rare, and they symbolize enchantment. Which there's really no such real thing as a blue rose, but there is a green rose in varieties, and I'm not sure what they represent. A black rose, symbolizing mystery. Have you ever seen a black rose?
No, not in real life.
No, I haven't either.
No.
But roses exist, and Sarah, she becomes infatuated by roses. Like she'll go into a flower store and she'll stick her head into, right? She'll stick her head
right in there.
The glass containment, which I have done too. I have done that too. What is that? Where did that come from, Kelly? That obsession that she had with roses?
Well, obviously, not obviously. What people may not know is the company that she's founded is a fragrance company, and the name of her company is Arcanum, hence the name of the series.
Yes.
Or the name of the series, hence the name of her company, I should say. But she, so she's always having to invent the next great scent, the next great product for her company's, survival. And her past lives are breaking through into her dreams, unbeknownst to her. She's having this dream of this, this maiden and all these things, and you'll see that in the book. But it was her dream that told her about the rose, and then she just ran with it. Because Sarah is the ultimate creator, right? And she is the inspiration. She's the genius. She's the nose behind Arcanum. And when she found out that there was this threatened ancient rose in France, the Gallica rose, that was going extinct, it was her nature to go and save the day. Because as you will learn, Sarah always works with exotic ingredients. She would never work with the boring rose, right? The rose is everywhere. But, when we all think of a rose, we think of the one in the floral shop that we get a dozen of them for Valentine's Day or, for a gesture of love. And that has a very specific fragrance. That's not the rose that Sarah works with in this book. The Gallica rose is much more delicate. It's much more subtle and nuanced. But it's an actual rose. Like, you can look it up. You can look at the history. It's been, kind of being weeded out, no pun intended, of existence. So it just made for a really compelling French story. I knew this book would be the past life in France. So I needed a connection point that both incarnations of the soul, Sarah in 21st century New York and Sari in 15th, 16th century France, could have that connection. And the rose was the kind of the best one that came up, and it was super fun.
Yeah, I was going to ask, did you absolutely adore the process of research?
Oh my God.
Right.
To explore these books, I mean, it has been so much fun. I love history, so that is a huge help. I love to travel. While I didn't get to go to ancient Egypt, I did go to Grasse in that area to just get an immersion. And I just went to Rome because book 3 takes place in the Vatican. So, that's a fun business trip. But it was book 2 was Whispers in the Forest, was so much fun to write, because not only learning about the Renaissance and that era, and, Sari's forced to become a courtesan to the king.
Yes.
It's a really humiliating, traumatic experience for someone like Sari. But with all of the other elements and all the other characters, the rose being a pivotal part of her journey too, it was just a blast.
Yeah, so I've spoken to a lot of authors. I've been doing a lot of interviews with authors, which I'm really enjoying, by the way, because it opens up brand new worlds for me. And also, authors are fascinating people. They have the tenacity, the ability to stay in the game for so long. Sometimes it takes years to write a book. How long did it take for you?
Book 2 came, let's see, I published book 1 was like 2.5 years, because I didn't want to write a book. I'm not a writer.
Yeah.
It's not what I do. I'm a channeler. So it was a really hard process for me at first. But then I found the right ghostwriter, co-writer. And so I create a manuscript, and then I have a professional go through and polish it up and fix punctuation. I don't even know where the quotations go. So I do need that help. And I have found the most extraordinary woman to help me with that. But book 1, I published June 1st, 2024. Book 2 was published May 13th, 2025. So that, I think it was 6 months to get that one done.
Yeah, that's very fast.
Yep.
That is very fast.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, I was just going to say, and book 3 should be out next summer. So
muzzle tough on that. The woman who helped you, what's her name?
Kate Fogarty.
Nice woman.
Oh, she's amazing.
Is she?
I mean, I'm a collaborator. I don't like to do things in an isolated manner.
Yeah, me too.
So it's such a joy to have her join me.
There's a lot of nuances that we deal with in the Writers Club that I started up this past weekend. I asked my writers, if you will, I asked them how often do you use the word said, S-A-I-D, as opposed to coming up with other ways of doing it. One fellow said 95% of when I write, I use the word said. Others said, no, I try to find other words, synonyms for the word said. Now, So I'm fascinated by nuances. So I wanted to ask you, the beginning line in your book, chapter 1, is, "My God, this is intolerable. We are never going to make it in this ridiculous excuse for a car. It's older than I am." How long did it take you to come up with this?
It's pretty quick. I don't know why. I mean, I think maybe because I channeled the story, so it kind of lives within me. Like I experienced the emotions. I went through all of this, and that's the 21st century story. So that's not the past
Yes.
life, but it's so easy for me.
It just flows out of you.
It just comes out of me, and the thing is, it comes through me. It doesn't come from me.
Right.
It's definitely one of those artistic zones that you read about and you marvel at. And I've never really experienced it before, this experience with Arcanum. But it's literally coming through me, not from me.
So are you really happy?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a very content person. Happiness to me is fleeting. It's
Joy.
an emotion that comes and goes, and that's how. But yeah, I have a baseline of real contentment.
Yeah, I would think so. I see that.
Yeah.
And I'm happy for you.
Thank you. It's hard won. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I have not, it's something that came with sacrifice and pain and healing and
Yeah, of course.
forgiveness, all of it. But man, it's worth it.
You know the Torah? Yeah, there's a line in the Torah that reminds you to be happy.
What does it say? Do you remember it exactly?
Sameach, misameach, or something, I forget, but it's the idea. And of course, the sages ask, why you're telling me to be happy? Because we forget sometimes,
Yeah, we do.
right? Right.
We totally do.
Now, Kelly, I've been playing around with AI for a few months and asking it to write a poem about my guest. So I have an ode to Kelly O'Hearn by AI. You want to hear it?
Yes.
Brace yourself.
It's so cool.
In the heart of New York's ceaseless hum, Kelly O'Hearn, a soul where dreams are spun. From city's pulse to vineyard's quiet grace, she tasted life, each note, each fleeting trace. A sommelier's art, her senses keen, sipping stories in the wine's soft sheen. Yet fate, a weaver, called her to unfold a deeper truth in tarot's cards retold. Through trials faced, a health crisis overcome, two children raised beneath her heart's own sun. She found the Arcanum, her mystic guide, where past lives whisper truth that time can't hide. With tarot as her quill, she channels tales of love and power where freedom's hope prevails. Her novels bend through time a sacred art, Outlander's fire with throne's unyielding heart. A storyteller intuitive, she weaves a tapestry of souls where spirit breathes. Her words a treat for senses to unfold, lift frequencies, align the heart to gold. From reinvention spark to healing calls, Kelly's vibration lifts the soul of all. Through Arcanum's grace, she lights the way, a roadmap born where stars and stories play. I know. Isn't that something? I know.
Oh my God. I am seldom shocked.
You're verklempt.
I am verklempt. I have no words, which
Honestly,
is very rare for me.
isn't that something? I know.
Oh my gosh.
I know. I know. Shall I send it to you?
Would you? I would so appreciate that.
I will. I
That's
will.
extraordinary. It
Yeah.
never would have crossed my mind to do that, but what a wonderful gift. Thank you.
No, you're welcome. You're welcome. I want to conclude our interview firstly by thanking you so much for doing this. It's very unique to me, and I love learning as you do. And it was a real pleasure to get to know you. So thank you very much for that.
A real pleasure. I couldn't agree more.
Yeah, it was just lovely. And what I would ask my viewers and listeners to do, as I did at the top of the podcast, is to take away from this that not everything that we see is all that is. There's a lot of mystical things going on. There's a lot of under the surface things going on. And it behooves us to investigate those things in life, whether you're a skeptic or not. And most of us are skeptical when it comes to tarot cards. I would argue most people are.
Mhm.
But yet, if you dive in and you say, okay, you know what, I'm going to open my mind and see what that is all about, listen to this interview in its entirety, you never know what can come out of it. I would tell you, by the way, the reading of the cards, my cards, were pretty accurate, because I actually do feel that something is just about to break, and I'm not too far from it. And much of it has to do with this podcast. What it is, I'll just tell you in a nutshell, is that I feel like I'm hitting my zone here.
Yeah.
I feel like my intuition
Yeah.
is growing from within, and therefore I'm able to impart good questions, I think,
Yeah.
to my guests. And
100%.
that's what I read when you read my cards.
No, and it makes sense. So with the devil here and the 10 of wands, you're giving up probably a worthiness wound, because you are deserving of this and you are good enough, more than good enough.
Oh, thank you for saying that. I appreciate it. So, in conclusion, Kelly, what would you share with my viewers and my listeners, people who are watching this interview, about finding purpose and meaning in life?
Well, first of all, we never age out of relevance. So never think you're too old
Yeah.
to, to try new tricks. What is it? The dog to try new tricks or whatever. But there's always an opportunity and a surprise, and you just get after your life. Go live your most authentic life, but try to live it from the place not of bliss or joy of, don't seek necessarily all that high standard. Just find this cadence that is steady and it's sure and it's trustworthy and it's delightful.
Yes.
For the most part. And from that place where you just have that steadiness and that consistency, you will be amazed what blossoms. Because
Wonderful.
life must meet you there. It must bring you experiences that meet you there in consistency and just delight. And then all of a sudden you just feed off of that. And the next thing you know, you're on, like me, on like a magic carpet ride practically.
Where can people be in touch with you?
I have a website called arcanumtheseries.com where there are direct links to email me and things like that. You can also reach out to me through my social media channels. Instagram is Kelly O'Hearn Author. So I welcome messages on that platform. And I give free tarot readings on Instagram and on TikTok, also under Kelly O'Hearn Author. Facebook, actually, the name of the Facebook is just Arcanum.
Okay.
But you can message me there as well. Those are the easiest ways.
All right. Well, congratulations on your success
Thank you.
and achieving joy. I wish you well. I wish your family well. And I would like to thank my viewers and listeners once again for joining me in this podcast, which I think is highly significant and very powerful. And as we say in Yiddish, sei gesund, which is go in good health. Until we meet again. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.